Hello, I am under an underpass in Korea by a river. You can see it behind me. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to mention a film I saw recently that I think if you have seen my video on top 10 occult folk horror films, you would enjoy this movie. It is a Korean horror film called Exhuma. And in Korea it's actually called Pamyo, and I believe that means graveyard. But I did see online that someone was saying it translates into like grave raising or grave digging. I'm not sure, but I think it's graveyard. And yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to this film. I'm not going to do a full review, but I do want to mention a few things that I enjoyed about it. The first thing is that Choi Min-sik is in it, and if you've seen Old Boy, you will recognize this actor. He is a great actor, and he delivers a great performance here. He is part of an ensemble with 3 other actors. I will list their names here, but 2 of them play these Korean shaman, which in Korea is called mudang. If it's a female, I think if it's a male it's called baeksu, which is kind of funny because baeksu kind of means without a job. Like sometimes when people quit their job here, they'll say I went baeksu. So I find that interesting. But anyway, as far as the film is concerned, I think it's a solid folk horror film. It has all the tropes. It's pretty scary. I wouldn't say it's overly scary, but what I did really like about it are all the twists and turns that the story takes. There are these interesting animal worship symbols in the movie. A lot of foxes, which if you know anything about Korean folklore and mythology, there is this spirit, the gumiho, which is the 9-tailed fox. So I think it's interesting to see these kind of fox, this fox motif in the film. It's odd because the first hour seems like a traditional ghost story, but after that goes by, the last hour, because the film is well over 2 hours, the last hour is quite strange, and I'll admit it kept me guessing. I didn't really know where it was going, which I respect because a lot of times, you know, horror movies can be kind of paint by numbers. But I will say this, there were a few things that annoyed me a little. One of the things is the shaman, there's a male and a female, and they're the 2 younger actors in the ensemble. I don't know, like, in my experience, seeing these kind of people in Korea, they're usually older people, and these people are a bit younger and kind of hip, and at times it seemed a little bit too edgy, like they're trying to make it more edgy than it actually is here. I feel like a lot of Koreans see that kind of thing as obsolete or just not part of their lives, so to see it kind of, I don't want to say normalized, but kind of hip or cool was a little odd. So there's this one scene where the female is like wiping entrails on her face, and I don't know, it just seemed a little bit over the top. But one thing I noticed that kind of made me laugh is there's this moment where she drops a baekwan coin, which is 100 won, onto the grave, and if you know the Korean money system, that's just kind of funny because it's like a dime in US dollars, 10 cents, and it just seems like a small amount to be throwing on a grave. I don't know. And then it kind of makes me wonder if that's part of the reason all the shit happens in the movie. I don't know, but that's just something I noticed. There are a lot of great scenes here with mirrors and reflections on windows and things, and I really appreciated those scenes. Those were probably the scariest scenes, in my opinion. There's one with an abaji, which means father, that was especially scary. There's interesting moments where these kind of ghosts are doing things and their sounds are very animalistic, which I thought was a good change, because usually the ghost noise is kind of ooh, you know, but this was more like almost demonic or something. In Korea and in Japan and a lot of other Central Asian countries, there's this idea of the hungry ghost, which is like the ghost that can't be satisfied. And I think that's very applicable in this film. And there's a lot that has to do with the Japanese occupation of Korea, which was from 1910 to 1945. And I think a lot of Koreans still have a wound from this. So I can kind of see why they used this, I don't want to call it a trope, but why they used it in the film. And it did add a certain weight, I think, because not only are you dealing with these ghosts, but you're also dealing with the weight of the past. I got a lot of House of Usher vibes from some of this, because of there's this family history and the sins of the father and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, there's a lot of nice twists. If you like folk horror, I think you'll enjoy it. There is very minimal use of CGI, which I appreciate. So it makes the movie feel quite real most of the time. There's one thing that kind of made me laugh. There's a scene in a hospital and these shaman bring a chicken in there. And I was just trying to imagine any hospital in the world allowing you to bring a chicken inside, but I mean, maybe somewhere. But yeah, that was a little far-fetched. But all in all, I think it's a solid folk horror film. If you like that kind of thing, I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, that's about all I have. I'm trying to enjoy this nice day in Korea. I hope it's a good day where you are. Take care. Bye-bye.